Hello, and welcome to English 102. My name is Valerie Malat, and I will be your instructor this semester. This video serves as an introduction to our English 102 course, as well as a walkthrough for the syllabus and a means of getting to know me a little bit better as your instructor. So I'm going to share my screen here and give you a little view of the course. If you click over here to meet your instructor, that will actually take you to my instructor bio. As it says here, I've been teaching English composition since the fall of 2019. I also teach for UC Claremont. And because of that timing, the bulk of my instructional experience has been online. I have taught face-to-face. I taught face-to-face English 101 at Cincinnati State for the fall of 2021, and that now I'm back to teaching online. So as you saw here in the welcome statement, this is a statement that was actually composed by the English department. There are 2 videos that explain how to submit assignments and check your grades, as well as a bit of a course organization overview. So I'm not going to repeat those things. Those were videos provided by our English co-chair. But I do want to explain a few things about this course. So if you look here, I have a frequently asked questions page. I think that just helps. I'm going to actually do the student preview here, so it actually looks like what it's supposed to. So there are some questions and answers about online courses, some tips for online course success and staying focused, some questions about how we'll do things during COVID-19. We're still facing some big time issues. So there are a few things that I want you to pay attention to, especially this last question here. What happens if I am ill and unable to complete coursework by the due date? It's really important that if you're able to, you email me so we can work on having you submit things when you're able to. I also want to call to your attention that it's probably a good idea to provide written consent for a family member or some other trusted person who will then have access to your information. There is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. We call that FERPA, which means that I, as your instructor, am not permitted by law to discuss anything about your course performance with anyone besides you without your written consent that's on file with the college. So it may be a good idea that you have at least one family member or somebody who's close to you that you trust who has access to that information should something happen to you. And then just a note on some of the guiding principles for this class. We are dealing with a lot of stuff surrounding COVID, which means not just that you might be sick or affected in some way, but your work schedules can change, your whole life can be put into turmoil. So there are some things that I want you to keep in mind. Of course, for me, it's really important to put people first. If you are dealing with some stuff, I want to stay informed, right? So it's good for you to communicate with me. And it's also good to celebrate even those tiny little things. That gives us a source of joy. And of course, it's very important for you to take care of yourselves. So those are some things there. I'm going to jump right into the course syllabus, and then I'll give you a little bit of an overview of how I do things with this course. So the syllabus is kind of cool. You can click through all of these links to get to the various sections of the syllabus. Here you see this is the course, this is my name. Important dates. I thought this would be good to include on our course page. You can find this elsewhere on the Cincy State website, but I think it's good to have access to this information. So our first day is the 18th. Of course, our courses, our asynchronous online courses, we run from Monday through Sunday, which means a new week will start on Monday. But of course, the college doesn't start back up until after the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, which is Tuesday, but you will have the course available to you before then. And the first assignment will be due on Sunday. We'll have assignments due at the end of the day on Sundays, always, unless I decide otherwise. But typically you will start a new week on Monday and end it on Sunday. So the first day of the semester is Tuesday, the 18th of January, 2022. The last day is May 2nd. The last day to drop with a 100% refund is just a little under a week after we start. That's January the 24th. The last day to drop with a 50% refund is January the 31st. And then the withdrawal period starts right after that, starting in the 1st of February and goes until April the 14th, which is just a couple of weeks before we wrap up the semester. Next, we have my instructor information. And as you can see, I don't have an office. I am an adjunct instructor, so I don't have an office anyway. But since we are asynchronous and only doing this as a remote virtual instruction, I don't have an office. This is my office. My happy plants, my calendar is over here. When you see me look over here, I actually have a wall calendar that's hanging up. Make sure that I'm giving you the right dates. My email is valerie.malott, that's M-A-L-O-T-T. Please make sure you spell my last name correctly, otherwise I won't receive your email. Valerie.malott@cincinnati-state.edu. Here is my phone number. This is my cell phone. You can reach me through it. I ask that you only text me and not give me phone calls. I do have life outside of English, but I can accept your texts, and if it's really an emergency, that's probably the best way to get a hold of me. I prefer that you send an email instead. I do have access to my email on my phone, so even if I'm away from my home and out and about and doing things, I still have access to emails, and I do look at my emails quite frequently. Even though I state that I only check twice a day, I do look at my emails frequently, and I do try to make sure that I get back to you in a very timely manner. If you don't hear from me within 24 hours, if it's not a weekend, please send me another email. Because sometimes, you may have thought you sent it to the right address and you realize, oh, I misspelled the name or I missed the dot or whatever. Reach out again to me and make sure that I know what's going on. And, again, if it's a real emergency, you can always text me. I will get that, and I will respond to you in a timely manner. Office hours, I will be available to meet with you on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 12 p.m. Via Zoom. If those hours don't work for you, when I realize a lot of you are taking asynchronous online courses, you are probably working during the day. So if you need to meet with me at a different time after your work hours, what have you, just request an appointment, email me, see what a good time might be in the evenings, and I will set aside time for you and schedule you. But typically you can schedule through Starfish, and you should know how to do that. So yeah, that's office hours. Course description, learning objectives, course prerequisites, those are all things you can read through yourselves. Required text, we do not have a required textbook in this class. Everything is supplied through Blackboard. If you look over here in the section that's called Writing Handbooks, we do have this textbook, which is a rhetoric and composition online text. I will not be using it. I will not be assigning readings from it unless I feel you need to read up on something. But I will click on that. It is a PDF file. And it's called English 101, Rhetoric and Composition. And this is really just a resource for things as far as the writing process. Let's see what else, writing, revising, editing. Then things like purpose, audience, tone, and content, which is really the rhetorical situation, which I will be talking to you about. Then they have sections on writing essays and the various types of essays you typically write. For this class, we are focusing on argumentative writing. So chapter 13 on argument and persuasion, if you are unclear about how to write persuasively, I may refer you to sections in this chapter. As well as research strategies. Because these are argumentative essays, they're actually research argumentative essays. And I will talk more about that as I provide an overview of the various units. So this is the text that you can always access. Again, it's in this writing handbooks section. And the departmental person walked you through the various sections here, so you should know these are good resources. If you're having some questions about writing, you can always find your answers right there in the writing handbook section. Back to the syllabus. So yeah, we don't have any required textbooks, which is fantastic because, I mean, college already costs enough. So it's great that you don't have to actually purchase any materials for this class. Faculty recording of remote class sessions. We do not meet face-to-face in a live web class or a hybrid class. This is completely asynchronous. So what that means is we won't have any meetings that are recorded. However, each week I will provide you with a weekly overview, as well as any lectures that I think are important to help you successfully complete the assignment for the week. And I will show you in a moment when we go through these various course assignments where to find that information. Grading standards. A minimum of 5,000 total words, which means no fewer than, this should say 3 essays actually, no fewer than 3 essays of at least 1,250 words, which is typically 4 to 6 pages. So yeah, you'll be writing 3 papers as well as several other shorter assignments leading up to the final essays. Late work. All late work must be submitted to the Blackboard course site by the Thursday following the original Sunday due date, no later than 11:59. I don't take points off for late work. I don't see the point in doing that. There's no reason to penalize you for, you know, life getting in the way. If you need time past that Thursday, I want you to try your best to get things in on through Sunday. Sunday is the due date. However, no questions asked if you get it in by Thursday, but don't make a habit of it. It just means more work for me as an instructor. It means I have to set aside additional time to grade and provide feedback for you. So try your best to get things in on Sunday. If you have to, you know, if you suddenly have a change in your work hours and you weren't able to get something done by Sunday and you need some additional time, you can take it, no questions asked. It's a courtesy to send me an email and say, hey, I'm having trouble getting things in. I need some extra time, so I'm going to take it. Again, if you need even more time, if you get sick or you're caring for a family member, what have you, and you need extra time, please email me and make arrangements with me. And I'm more than happy to be flexible with you. If you have any questions, email me. Things happen, so I'm open to being flexible because I want you to succeed in this class, and I will do everything I can to help you succeed. Online course submission policy. All work needs to be submitted through Blackboard, which even if we were meeting face-to-face, I would still request that you send everything in online. It just makes things easier. It's greener. and what have you. All drafts and essays must be submitted in MLA format. If you click on this link, it will actually take you to the Purdue OWL website that will review what MLA format is. So I suggest that you take a look at that and make sure that you hand things in the correct format. Question responses don't need to follow MLA format. You can actually type those in the text submission box, but all other work needs to be submitted as a docx, or PDF file format. If you submit Apple Pages or if you provide links to Google Docs, those will not be readable in Blackboard. I've had students who have done that before, and I've had to email them and say, hey, I need you to resubmit it in one of these readable files. So again, and then that just takes extra time before I can actually provide feedback on an assignment. So please make sure docx, or PDF. And there are ways, if you work in Apple Pages, I know there's a way to save things as a readable file format, where it's not Mac dependent. So please make sure that you submit in the correct format. If a file is unreadable, or if for some reason it will not open, I'll ask you to resubmit the assignment in one of the accepted file formats. If you fail to do that, if you fail to resubmit something in a readable format, that assignment will receive a 0. Now, I want you to keep in mind that you also have multiple attempts to submit each assignment. I don't think it's fair not to provide that for students. So for the question responses, you have unlimited attempts. If for some reason you realize that you did an assignment and you're like, you know what, I really kind of half-assed it. Let me go back and fix some things. You can go back and fix some things, and I will take a look at it. For the discussion board assignments, you have the ability to delete or edit your posts. Again, you know, sometimes we do things in the really late hours or the wee morning hours, and you're like, oh, I really shouldn't have done that. Let me go back and fix it, right? So this gives you multiple chances to do things correctly. For all the other written assignments, you have 3 attempts to submit. Again, sometimes things just go wonky with technology. I understand that. And sometimes, you know, you just don't do as well of a job as you were hoping to. So I always give you multiple times to submit assignments. So if you experience some kind of an issue with resubmitting an assignment, it should let you do it, but if for some reason it doesn't, please let me know. Send me an email and I will go in and fix the issue. No questions asked. Grade distribution. I think this is important to look out. We have a total of 100 points here. The first 4 assignments in each unit are worth 5 points each. Please do not blow them off, even though they're 4 points. I know it can be tempting to do that, but really you have to think of them as being 5% of your final grade. Each of these mini assignments, 5% of your final grade. So you see here, essay 1 assignment 5, that's the actual essay itself, the final revision. Essay 2 assignment 5, and then final project, which is essay 3 final revision. Those are respectively 10 points, 10 points, and 20 points. So 10% to 20% of your final grade. Now the final project here is just the revision of your essay. It is nothing additional. It doesn't have to be any longer than the other essays. It doesn't have to have more sources. It is just called a final project. And the reason for that is, let me call up this link here, is that maybe it's, sorry, there's an explanation in one of these assignments. Yeah, here we go. So we have here in the rough draft for that final project, or essay 3, is the departmental and institutional learning outcomes assessment. The final project for this class might be reviewed by the English department or the Learning Outcomes Assessment Committee for achievement of the following institutional learning outcomes, making sure that you demonstrate you can read critically, write critically, produce clear, logical, coherent, correct, properly documented prose, and analyze, interpret, and critically respond to non-print media sources. Papers will be selected randomly and information identifying students is removed. This does not affect your grade for the class or your grade for that assignment. I am solely responsible for grading the assignment. This is just a way for the department and for the college to assure that what we're doing as instructors helps students achieve those learning outcomes. That is all. So it doesn't impact you directly. It's not a huge deal. They just call it a final project because it may be selected to be viewed by somebody other than me. Okay. So that's grade distribution, grade scale, the communication policy. Please make sure that you use your Cincinnati State email. There was a section in here that says emails from other accounts outside of Cincinnati State will be deleted. I don't do that. If you want to, if for some reason you're emailing from your Google account or a different email account, as long as you identify who you are and which class you're in, that's really all I need to know. But yeah, it's a good habit to make sure that you use your Cincinnati State email. You have it, you might as well use it. And there is a way to add that account to your phone. Depending on what phone you have, you can look that up so that you have access to your email. And make sure that you add me to your email account so that you have, I'm one of your contacts, not just your email, but you can also add in my phone so that if you need to text me and you're away from your computers, you know how to get a hold of me. Academic integrity. Okay, so this is pretty important and I need to say it as an instructor because if I don't, I'm not doing my duty. Violations of academic integrity that constitute serious breaches of ethical behavior include, but are not limited to, cheating, fabrication, facilitating academic dishonesty, and plagiarism. Penalties imposed by the instructor may include failure of the assignment or failure of the course, and the instructor also has the option of filing a report or incident with the provost for documenting purposes. Only the provost can impose suspension or dismissal. So we do take academic integrity and plagiarism very seriously. I have only failed one student for plagiarizing their final essay in their class, and it was very evident that it was plagiarized. But typically, if I see you have a rough draft that looks like it may have been written by someone other than you, or that you may have plagiarized unintentionally, I will call your attention to that and give you the opportunity to rectify the situation. So this is important to read through what plagiarism is and why it's important and how you can avoid plagiarism. So plagiarism, you must give credit whenever you use another person's idea, opinion, or theory. When you use any facts, statistics, graphs, drawings, any figures, any pieces of information that are not common knowledge, quotations of another person's actual spoken or written words. So yeah, it doesn't just pertain to writing. It also pertains to the things that people say in speeches and in talks, especially in this course, we will be using 3 videos as the basis text of our for our essays. So yeah, we have to attribute those spoken words to the people who spoke them. And I will tell you how to do that. later on in the semester. And also when we use paraphrases of another person's spoken or written words. So plagiarism includes, but is not limited to, the intentional use by paraphrase or direct quotation of the published or unpublished work of another person without full and clear acknowledgement. It also includes the intentional unacknowledged use of materials prepared by another person or agency, engaged in the selling or distribution of essays or other materials. So, there are lots of websites out there geared towards students and these people make money off of you wanting to purchase essays that were written by somebody else. We call these essay mills. So, and they're a big no-no. So don't do it. That's how I failed my one student. Sanction for plagiarism is at the sole discretion of the instructor and will be addressed on a case-by-case basis. Again, it may include failure of the assignment, failure of the course, or other action. And I hope that I will never have to take it to the office of the provost, because I want my students to succeed. I can't stress that enough. I really do want my students to succeed. And I don't find it fair in some ways that students who work hard and try to do things correctly be penalized. So that's plagiarism. Non-attendance policies. So we have seated web courses, seated and live web courses, and then non-attendance policy for online and hybrid courses. So this is an asynchronous web-based online class where we have no in-person attendance required. So you need to log into the course website during the stated no-show period of the semester. And so that's the first 2 weeks of the semester, you need to log in. And I will be able to see when you last logged in through Blackboard. So I do know when that happens, but it's also important to participate in an online activity. You can't just log in, but you also need to participate. So participation includes, but it's not limited to, submitting an academic assignment, taking an exam, completing an interactive tutorial, or completing computer-assisted instruction, participating in an online discussion about academic matters, or initiating contact with a faculty member to ask questions about the academic subject studied in the course. So it needs to have some kind of interaction, either through submitting an assignment, taking part in a discussion, or having contact with me. A student who is enrolled in the course but does not log in to the course during the first 2 weeks of the semester will be designated as a no-show. All other policies described in the course catalog apply to students in web and hybrid courses also. All right, so that is the online, let's see, the non-attendance policy. There is also non-attendance leading to administrative withdrawal. So if you're enrolled in a course and you miss 3 consecutive weeks, that is, you don't submit anything, you don't log in, and I don't see any action from you, I can technically withdraw you from the course myself. It's a lot of paperwork and kind of annoying. I do not do that. I've done it once, and there were stipulations around that whole thing, but I really do not like to do that. If I see that you haven't submitted assignments or you haven't been logging in, I will reach out to you through email. I will also get things moving through Starfish with your academic advisor and have them reach out to you to make sure that everything is okay. You know, the past 2 years have been kind of weird with COVID, and students sometimes just kind of ghost. You know, they're just like, okay, I can't cope, I'm not dealing, and they just kind of disappear. And I still do not withdraw students administratively for those reasons. Partly it affects your financial aid to go under a certain number of course hours, so I don't want to do that. And you know, the other reason is it's really something that academic advising should be involved in. It's, you know, once it gets past a certain period of time, I really do need to call in other people as backup and make sure that everything is going okay with you. You know, our student body is comprised of a wide variety of people with a wide variety of backgrounds, and not everybody has the best of lives. So we want to make sure that everything is going okay with you, that you're not sick or you're not in danger or anything like that. So I will make it a point to reach out to you if you're missing classes, and provide you with the opportunity to make up if you're just going through a rough period, to make up those missed assignments and really try to help you succeed in this course. So these are, you know, administrative withdrawal. I don't do it, but it is there. So you know about it. I've talked about it. Hopefully I won't have a reason for doing it. Then we have information on computer literacy, the distance learning page, Smarter Measure, technical help. These are all a variety of services that are available to you. So I encourage you to take a look at the rest of these links. I'm not going to take the time here to walk you through them all because there is quite a lengthy list here. I do want to call your attention, however, to the Writing Center. So we do have a Writing Center, and we do have professional people, experienced writing instructors who provide tutoring and extra help for your writing needs. They do appointments face-to-face as well as virtually. I'm assuming for the first couple of weeks while we are doing most things remotely, they won't be meeting face-to-face. However, you can always call or schedule an appointment through Starfish. So that is the Writing Center. They're a fantastic group of people. And here it says, if you would like a Writing Center tutor to review and discuss your draft via Zoom or Blackboard Collaborate, you can schedule through Starfish Success Network and find the links to the Writing Center calendars. As I said before, they do offer on-campus and online services, so make sure that you access the correct calendar when you make your appointment. So yeah, that's it for the syllabus. So yeah, let me pause here. I will stop my sharing and I will pause my recording and go on with the next section. Okay, welcome back. So now I am going to show you how I have our course organized. So in that overview video, the course organization video that came from the English department, they explained that each of the, we have 3 units, or yeah, I'll call them your units. We have SA1, SA2, and SA3, and they actually each have separate themes. And I will be providing you with a course schedule or a course plan that gives you a brief sketch of what I hope to do each week. That may change according to what you need as students. However, each of these units are broken into 5 weekly modules. And each module is set up in a certain way. So actually in the video, her example was from an English 101 class, but you will see that they're set up similarly. We have the due date for the week's work. Each due date is a Sunday, no later than 11:59 p.m., followed by the weekly learning objectives. Then we have context and instructions. So if you don't see instructions on the assignment itself, please be sure to take a look at this box here. So during the first week of this unit, you'll be introduced to the text that you will engage with the essay. You'll also consider elements of argumentative writing. And then instructions. Introduce yourself to the class using the introduction link, view the video, and then complete the assignment in the work below. So we have a link here to the introduction discussion board. Then we will have the embedded video, And then at the bottom here, we have the link for the assignment. And you should already know how to submit your assignment. You just click on the link and it will take you to the submission page. For this first assignment, you can go to text submission and just write assignment, write submission. However, I recommend composing in a document instead, because, you know, if you lose power and you don't have anything that backs it up, or if you suddenly just click on something and your submission disappears, then you have to start again all over. Whereas if you're composing within a word processing software, there's usually, you know, you should have automatic backups. You should have automatic saves for your documents. But you do have the option of either writing the text submission or attaching a file. So that's that. Oh, and for each assignment, if you click on this view rubric, I don't think the video will catch the rubric, but if you click on this, it will open up another box where you can see the rubric itself for the assignment. And each assignment will have that. So the way I set things up is at the bottom of each weekly unit or weekly module, I will have a folder that says resources for whichever week. I don't think I have anything posted right now. No, I don't have any information posted for you right now. But within this resources for week 1 folder, you will find the weekly overview of the course. It'll be a video, any other additional lectures. I also provide PowerPoint slides for each of the lectures that I record, as well as any additional handouts or any additional videos that I may want you to take a look at. So any additional instructional material outside of this stuff will always be contained in the resources for the week in the folder, and that will be at the bottom of each weekly page. I will also be providing a link to my YouTube playlist. I record the videos in Zoom, but then I upload them to my YouTube channel, and that's primarily so that I have the closed captioning done. So I edit my videos and then I upload them to YouTube so that I have them, and there will be an English 102 YouTube playlist, and I will provide the link here for you so that you can say, okay, I remember she did a video on argumentative writing. I can't find it. That saves you the annoyance of having to go through each of the weekly folders to figure out which week she did the lecture on whatever. So you go to the playlist, you can find the video that you want to rewatch, and do it that way. I think it's just a lot easier than having to figure out which week we did what. So that will be posted in this course information as soon as I get some videos up and running for you. So yeah, that's it. That's how I have things set up. I don't think there's anything else that I need to add to this overview. I think I've probably gone on longer than I should have, but I want to make sure that I have all my bases covered and that we have taken at least a cursory glance at the syllabus. So be on the lookout for those resources. I will have a playlist up, and I will also have a course plan, which is just a rough sketch of the various things I will be discussing each week as we progress through the semester. Okay, I look forward to reading all about you and meeting you in the weekly discussion board, and here's to a great semester. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.